Hi, I'm Carmen Garvis. I'm the engineering teacher at Sanger High School in Sanger Unified School District. And today I am printing face shields for the community, especially for the Sanger Unified volunteer parents and teachers and administrators that are serving lunches for our students during this shutdown. Right now you can see we're 3D printing one of the face shields. So the way I'm doing this, because of our distance learning and shutdown, I come here to my classroom and I set up the print. It takes about, for this design, it takes about 2.5 hours. So I started, and then I go home and I have my little app that I can monitor the progress of the printing, and it shows me the percentage of how far it's going on the printing. So then I come back and I take it out of the plate and I start a new project. When it's finished, this is how it looks like. It will be on the plate sitting like this, and it has, this is called the raft or the base of the project. So it comes out and I separate the raft from the project, and then I start working on it for assembly. So the materials that I use to make this face shield is I use rubber bands, I use transparency film that we used to use for teaching, and I found a box in my cabinet that is probably at least 10 years old. And then I use obviously my filament to 3D print the model. I go ahead and I make markings on my transparency so I can place it on the same position on the visor all the time. And so I will be marking this, and after I mark it, I trim these two ends because to facilitate on the assembly on inserting the shield into the frame. This frame is designed where it has a locking mechanism after you insert the filament, or the transparency sheet. And so I go ahead and I separate it from the main frame and I insert the transparency, and using my marks I go ahead and I position this and try to even it out, because as you can see it's not even right now, so I even it out as best as possible. Once it's even out, I lock it, and you got your face shield. However, I do forget a step. I put my rubber bands. And so I put the rubber band, and that will keep the face shield on your head without having to have any type of support from other support to hold it. Once I assemble the transparency into the frame, I like to trim it, and I use this making corners for pictures that I used to use when I used to make picture books, and I round the corners so that way they don't cut anybody. And this was already trimmed. This is one of the modifications actually I made because it was so hard to insert the transparency into the frame when it was rectangular shape. So by trimming these corners, it allowed me to insert the transparency a lot faster and more productive, reducing the amount of marks that you get into the transparency otherwise. So. Okay, so when I start researching for the designs that I wanted to use for the face shield, I came across this design on Thingiverse, and I was like, okay, I printed out, and then I noticed that I needed to use 2 rubber bands, and it took a long time to print. It was close to 4 hours, and with the limited amount of 3D printers, I wasn't going to be too productive using this design, so I went ahead and looked for another prototype, and this one uses only 1 rubber band, and it cut the time a little bit, but it was a long time, and it had these openings in here that it will break they were very fragile, and sometimes they will break before I could even assemble the face shield. So from that, I went to this one, the one that you saw me putting together. And this one prints in about 2.5 hours, uses one rubber band. It is lightweight. It is a one piece, which is what I was looking for. I was looking for less time consuming in printing and assembly, as well as less filament to be used into the printing, because I have limited amount of filament to make these face shields. So this one so far is giving me that. I do recommend for everybody, due to the CDC recommendations, to wear your face mask along with your face shield. The face mask will cover you around this area. The face shield will cover your eyes, as well as up to the bottom, up to your neck. So one of the things that I would like to do with this project is to invite more Sanger Unified employees that has 3D printers, and I know that we have some other ones in our community, to join me into making face shields or even face masks, whatever they wish to do, to protect our employees that are putting themselves on the line of exposing themselves maybe with this virus. It is a great project to support the community, and I encourage everybody to join me.